Hello learners, the Quality Engineering and Management course in this week 3 video number 8 7 quality control tools for improvement presented by Dr. N. Venkateshwarlu, Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering, School of Engineering and Technology, IGNOU, New Delhi. Total quality management is a management approach that originated in the 1950s and has steadily become more popular since the early 1980s. Total quality is a description of the culture, attitude, and organization of a company that strive to provide customers with products and services that satisfy their needs. This culture requires quality in all aspects of the company operations, with process being done right the first time and defects and waste eradicated from operations. So what TQM says here is, TQM is a philosophy. In this, everybody has to involve in improving the quality and satisfy the customers as per their requirements, and as well as produce the products at right first time, and defects should be reduced or waste should be eliminated. This is the concept of total quality management. Learners, after listening to this video lecture, you should be able to explain elements of TQM, describe 7 QC tools for improvement, which are affinity diagram, tree diagram, interrelationship diagram, prioritization matrix, process decision program chart, that is PD, PC, activity network diagram, matrix diagram. Elements of TQM. TQM has been coined to describe a philosophy that makes quality the driving force behind leadership, design, planning, and improvement initiatives. To be successful in implementation TQM, an organization must concentrate on following 8 key elements. The elements of TQM are ethics, integrity, trust, training, teamwork, leadership, recognition, and communication. These elements can be divided into 4 groups according to their function. These groups, namely foundation, bricks, binding mortar, and roof, constitute the necessary features of a house. It is the TQM elements are work like a house. For house, there is when the constructing an house, it needs a foundation. Then bricks will be placed till the top of the floor, and then roof will be placed. Then cement will be plastered. So it is the implementation of TQM can be explained in such a way that constructing a house, so in that various elements will be there. So in that, the foundation, TQM is built on a foundation of ethics, integrity, and trust. It promotes openness, fairness, sincerity, and allows involvement of everyone. So this is a foundation. Then ethics. Ethics is the discipline concerned with good and bad in any situation. It is a two-faced subject representation by organizational and individual ethics. Organizational ethics establish a business code of ethics that outlines guidelines that all employees are to adhere to in the performance of their work. Individual ethics include personal rights or wrongs. So in the ethics are 2 types, that is business ethics as well as personal ethics. One has to behave in the industry, the industrial ethics code, according to industrial business ethics, he has to perform, but as well as he has to be ethical in personal rights and wrongs also. Integrity. Integrity implies honesty, moral values, fairness, and adherence to the facts and sincerity. These are the characteristics that the customer, internal and external, expect and deserve to receive, people see the opposite of integrity as duplicity. TQM will not work in an atmosphere of duplicity. So integrity is very much required in a business where the TQM says that the business people should treat the customers, either it may be internal or external, in a different way so that the customers will come to the company for the products. Trust is a byproduct of integrity and ethical conducts. Without trust, the framework of TQM cannot be built. Trust promotes full participation of all members. It allows empowerment that encourages pride in ownership and also encourages commitment. It allows decision making at appropriate levels in the organization, promote individual risk taking for continuous improvement of process. Trust is essential to ensure customer satisfaction. So, trust builds the cooperative environment essential for TQM implementation. So, trust is also one of the important element in the TQM implementation process. When the trust builds in between the people, so it can be, the TQM can be implemented easily. Now we have talked about the foundation. In the foundation we have the ethics, trust and integrity. Now the bricks laying down the bricks for the house construction. Like that, in the TQM implementation, the bricks here comes as on the basis of strong foundation of trust, ethics and integrity. Bricks are placed to reach the roof of recognition. It includes training, teamwork and leadership. So in the bricks means, here we can see as a training, teamwork and leadership. So training, what is training? During the creation and formation of TQM, employees are trained so that they can become effective employees for the company. Supervisors play an important role in implementing TQM within their departments because they impart training and teach the employees the philosophies of the TQM. So the training is very much required for every person in the organization, starting from the employees to supervisors, managers and the top management also needs training on the quality philosophies and quality tools and quality techniques. So then only they can able to implement easily and make the employees to understand about the TQM philosophy, TQM principles, so that gives an impact to implement TQM easily. So that is the impact of training. Then teamwork. Teamwork is a key element of TQM to bring success. With the use of teams, the business will receive quicker and better solution to problems. So here what he is saying, that by teamwork we can solve the problems within no time, or we can find out the solution for any problem within no time. The teams also provide more permanent improvements in processes and operations. In teams, people feel more comfortable bringing up problems that may occur and can get help from the other workers to find a solution and put into place. So teamwork builds the cooperation, coordination and make them to discuss in between the workers and in between the worker and the supervisor or supervisor and manager. So the TQM built a culture which there is no fear to discuss any problem with anybody in the organization. That is the teamwork concept. There are mainly three types of teams that TQM organization adopt. There are quality improvement teams or excellence teams. The quality improvement teams are teams, it comprises of management, managers, supervisors and the operators also. It comprises of 5 to 10 people, and it works for the 3 months to 1 year to solve various problems. It is a quality improvement team is a company-wide team. It involves all the people, including from all the departments. So it may be around 5 to 10 or 5 to 15 people will be involved to solve various problems throughout the company. That is quality improvement teams. Then comes to problem solving teams, which are interdepartmental or in the department itself, which will be constituted of 5 to 10 people from various departments or within the department. So the engineers and supervisors, then workforce, as well as quality department members also be included in this to solve various day-to-day problems occurring in the manufacturing processes. This is the one type of teams. And then comes to natural work teams, which are also 3 types: employee involvement, self-managing teams, and quality circles. Employee involvement team, it is nothing but the employee, somebody is working on a particular machine. If any problem comes, the employee itself, he observes that problem, and sometimes he can come to the supervisor, he can discuss with that supervisor, and they can solve that problem. So that is the employee involvement, involving in solving some particular problem. So then self-managing teams. The self-managing teams, which are means it will be in the department itself. So that department can in the department any problem arises, these self-managing teams, which will be worked for 1 week or 1 month, and they solve the problems, then it will be dissolved. Then third one is the quality circles. There are n number of quality circles can be established depending upon the requirement. So it is depending upon the, if in one shop itself, it may be machine shop, it may be assembly, it may be tool room, it may be in maintenance. So these teams everywhere, the quality circles can be formed by 3 to 7 people will be involved to solve various small to big problems can be solved by constructing or establishing quality circles. These are the various teamwork can takes place to various problems. This is also very much important. It is also known as an element of TQM. First one is teamwork, then it comes to leadership. It is possibly the most important element in TQM. Leadership in TQM requires the manager to provide an inspiring vision, make strategic directions that are understood by all, and to encourage values that guide subordinates. So here what is that saying that leadership is an motivational process. A leader should have a best leadership quality so that he can encourage the people, he can visualize the company's objectives, and he can communicate in a proper way to all the people in the organization so that the company's goals can be achieved. That is the leadership. There is no need of the numerical targets, or the leader should be like that. He should motivate each and every person. He can communicate each and every person effectively so that he can be motivated to work more. So that is the leadership role. For TQM to be successful in the organization, the supervisor must be committed in leading his employees. A supervisor must understand TQM, believe in it, and then demonstrate practicing TQM. So that is the role of leadership. A key point is that TQM has to introduced and lead by top management commitment, and personal involvement is required from top management in creating and deploying clear quality values and goals consistent with the objectives of the company, and in creating and deploying well-defined systems, methods, and performance measures for achieving those goals. Binding motors. Now we have learned about the foundation, bricks, and then we are coming to the binding motor. It's nothing but a cementing the bricks. So here, from foundation to roof of the TQM house, everything is bounded by the strong motor of communication. Here the communication is works like a cement to plastering like that. So communication act as a vital link between all elements of TQM. Communication means a common understanding of ideas between the sender and the receiver. The success of TQM demands communication with all personnel within the departments, the suppliers and the customers. Though here the communication is an effective tool which should be effective to communicate to the receivers how the receivers receives, and simultaneously the receiver should send the message in such a way that he has understood everything, so that he has been communicated properly. So the communication should be between the departments, between the supplier and manufacturer, or manufacturer and customer. So all the communication should be effective, then only the TQM process can be implemented properly. Supervisors must keep open the means through which employees can send and receive information about the TQM process. It is vital that ideas, thoughts and results of actions are being shared correctly. The communication process can be said to be credible only if receiver interprets in the way the sender intended. So what does it mean? So the communication sent by a sender and the communication received by the receiver, if they understand properly, so then only the receiver can send the back communication to the sender. So in that way, everybody should understand what they are communicating, what the ideas that they are giving. Suppose the communication between the supervisor and an employee, he is working on a machine, any problem comes, immediately he has to communicate in a such a way that supervisor can understand, and immediately he can communicate to him, if you do in this way, the problem can be solved. So such that the effective communication must be there in implementing TQM process. Top management as well as managers and supervisors at all levels serves as translators and executors of top management's directives. Communication follows different ways, such as downward communication, the upward communication, then sideways communication. So in the downward communication, the communication flow, any information or communication from top management to managers, then supervisors, then the workers, the communication should reach in such a manner. So that's why we are calling it as a downward communication. In the upward communication, the communication flows from the workers to supervisors to engineers and managers. So here what they will do, a operator is working on a machine, particular turning machine or milling machine or CNC machine. If any problem comes, then immediately sometimes he can analyze and he can solve himself. But here, if it is not solvable problem with the operator, then immediately he has to communicate to supervisor. Then if supervisor is understood, then the problem will solve. If he is also not able to understand, then he has to go to engineer or manager in the department. So that is known as the upward communication. Communication from the lower level to higher level. So that is known as a upward communication. Then sideways communication. This is also important because the communication between the departments to departments, the shop floor to shop floor. Suppose in a manufacturing process, there are different manufacturing processes are there. The communication has to move from one place to another place. So one shop to another shop. The press shop is there. Press shop has manufactured the blanks. So then it will be sent to the machine shop like that. So if the machine shop is using various tools and the tools will be supplied by the tool room. So if any communication has to take place between tool room and machine shop, or sometimes the machine shop to plant engineering, or you can say that maintenance department, that type of communication, if any problem comes in the machine or machine breakdown takes place, they have to communicate to the plant engineering department, so that the maintenance people will come and repair that machine and make available to the machine shop. That this type of communication is known as a sideway communications. Then the roof. So now in the house, TQM house, we have discussed about foundation, then bricks, laying bricks, then mortar or cementing or communication. So now it comes to roof. Roof of the TQM house is built with recognition. So anybody is working on the industry, if he is working very nicely and excellently, he is performing excellently, he should be given recognition. Anybody, any employee, any supervisor, any engineer and manager, they have to be recognized. Then only they feel happy and they will be motivated. So here the roof will act as a recognition. Recognition is the last and final element in the entire system. A team or an individual should be given the recognition for the suggestions and achievements. Recognition comes in its best form when it immediately follows an action that an employee has performed. Recognition can be a positive factor to changes in self-esteem, productivity, quality, and the amount of efforts to the task of hand. Recognition comes in different ways, places, time, such as ways, places, and time. Ways, it can be by way of personal letter from the top management or by awards. Places, good performers can be recognized in front of departments, on performance boards, and also in front of top management. And then time, when the recognition should be given. Recognition can be given at staff meetings, annual award ceremony, etc. It is very clear from the above discussion that TQM without involving integrity, ethics, trust would be an incomplete mission. Training is the key by which the organization creates a TQM environment. Leadership and teamwork go hand in hand, and communication between departments, supervisor and workers create a liveliness in the whole TQM process. Now the 7 QC tools for improvement. There are 7 QC tools are there. Earlier we have discussed about 7 quality improvement tools, that are the different tools. These are the different tools. That's why we are calling it as the new 7 quality tools, were adopted with the aim of developing quality control techniques with a design approach. Design approach implies that the best way of tackling a problem is decided before actually solving the problem. Since these tools are capable of identifying a problem from verbal facts, they are used mainly for the quantitative problems in nature. The basic 7 tools rely on numerical data to give shape to the problem and make use of mathematical formulas. The new 7 QC tools, on other hand, act on the predefined problem and are used to organize verbal data into a more structured form. The Japanese realized the new 7 QC tools were the most effective, which entered them into the second wave of quality. The following are the 7 new QC tools: affinity diagram, tree diagram, interrelations diagram, prioritization matrix, process decision program chart, activity network diagram, and matrix diagram. First, affinity diagram. An affinity diagram is used to pinpoint the problem in a chaotic situation and generating solution strategies. It involves gathering of large amounts of interrelated verbal data, ideas and opinions concerning a product or process. This is followed by organizing the data into groups based on natural relationship or affinity. This affinity makes it feasible for further analysis and to find a solution to the problem. Steps for constructing affinity diagram. These are the various steps. State the problem, brainstorm and record all verbal data including ideas. Write each idea on a card. Pile data cards into groups into similar themes, natural affinity for each other. So brainstorming is a technique from which the various ideas will come and similar ideas can be grouped in different groups and then problems can be solved. That is the brainstorming technique. Combine statements on data cards to new affinity statement. Make new card with affinity statement. Continue to combine until less than 5 groups remain. Lay the groups out, keeping the affinity clusters together and complete the affinity diagram. So in this way the affinity diagram can be constructed. Advantages of affinity diagram. It facilitates breakthrough in thinking and stimulates fresh ideas. It permits the problem to be pinned down accurately. So these are the advantages. Then comes to tree diagram. The steps to construct the tree diagram are: record the problem or goal and identify constraints on how objectives can be achieved. Generate the primary means of achieving objectives by asking questions like what needs to happen to solve this problem. So there are various questions to be asked for how to solve that problem. So what may be the route which can solve that problem? Like that several questions can be asked, which is the idea generation process. Review each system of means in both directions, that is from objectives to means and means to objectives. The development means and confirmation of objectives are carried out through the entire process of building a tree diagram. Take each primary mean and ask questions of achieving it. Secondary means. Continue expanding to next level of means by asking more specific questions. Review the tree diagram. Start with the last level and ask, will this set of items achieve the next higher level? If the answer is yes for every level, then the diagram is complete. If not, then redo the diagram. The advantages of tree diagram are: tree diagrams are very systematic and approaches each objectives logically, hence it is less likely that items are omitted. Tree diagrams facilitate agreement among teams. Then interrelationship diagrams. Interrelations diagram is a tool for finding solution to problems that have complex relationships. The purpose of making it is to identify the root cause and root effects of a problem. Root causes are those factors or aspects of a problem which primarily influence other factors, and root effects are those factors of a problem. So this is interrelationship diagram. Then comes to steps for constructing interrelationship diagram. Develop the problem statement. Develop issue related to the problem. Arrange the issues in a circle. Identify cause and effect relationship. Draw arrows to indicate direction of influence. Count the arrows. Identify the root cause and effects. These are the various steps to construct interrelationship diagram. Advantages of interrelationship diagram. Useful at planning stage for obtaining perspectives on overall situation. Facilitate consensus among team. Assist to develop and change people's thinking. Enables priorities to be identified accurately. Then comes to prioritization matrices. The prioritization matrices are designed to narrow down the focus of any team before detailed implementation planning can happen. These tools should be used when key root causes have been identified and most critical causes must be narrowed down. When the issues are complex and they have strong interrelationship, efforts must be concentrated on critical few. So it is a the table, it's a matrix form. So there are different operation, it means different critical factors are there. Which critical factors should become taken first priority, on which problem should be solved first. So that priority finding is nothing but a prioritization matrix. So there are various problems will be there. So in that, which one will be completed first, which one should be solved first, that will be prioritized in this matrix. Advantages of prioritization matrix: forces a team to focus on best things to do rather than everything they could do. It limits private agendas since all the criteria identified are team generated. It increases participation and ownership of both problems and solutions. Then, process decision program chart. The PDPC is a very useful and powerful method to overcome a problem or a goal to be achieved which are not familiar. With the help of PDPC, it is possible to map out all conceivable events or contingencies that can occur in the implementation stage and also find out feasible countermeasures to overcome these problems. PDPC anticipates possible outcomes and prepares countermeasures leads to best solution. So PDPC advantage is to it identifies the problems priorly before implementation only, then it can find out the solutions. That is the advantage of PDPC. The PDPC method can be used to establish an implementation plan for management by objectives, establish an implementation plan for technology development team, enable those involved to understand decision maker intentions, implements countermeasures to minimize non-conformities in the manufacturing process. These are the various advantages. Then activity network diagram, it's also known as AND. The most popular activity network diagram is also known as Program Evaluation Review Technique, that is PERT, PERT, used in project management. So this, I think all those who are studying this quality engineering must have studied about the project management. There we have studied about this activity network diagram. It is used to find the most efficient path or critical path and a realistic schedule for the completion of any project by graphically showing the total completion time, the necessary sequence of tasks that can be done simultaneously, the critical task to monitor, and the slack time of tasks within the project. So this is activity network diagram is to find out a critical path, and so that once you find out the critical path, so what are the resources can be, where the more resources can be allotted, and the project can be completed in a stipulated time. That is the importance of this activity network diagram. Then comes to last one, that is matrix diagram. The matrix diagram method is designed to seek out principal factors from many characteristics concerning a subject under study. The matrix diagram helps to advance the processes of problem solving by indicating the presence and degree of strength of a relationship between the two sets of factors. The matrix diagram can be used to compare the results of implementing a new manufacturing process to the needs of the customers. This is the matrix diagram. So learners, I hope you have understood about the elements of TQM, 7 new QC tools for improvement. Learners, you need to read the units to understand better about 7 new QC tools for improvement, because it was clearly explained with tables and graphs and some examples in the units. So I request you to read the units also. After listening this video, if you read that, then you can able to understand better, and you feel you can understand more. That is the units have given more clearly explain in a better manner. So thank you.